Hey guys, welcome back to Playing Desire and Decorum, Book 1, Chapter 6. Make your learning debut at Mr. Sinclair's dinner party. Will you make a good impression or will Mr. Marcosta sabotage you? We are not letting our stepbrother sabotage us because he is going down. Like, you're not going to get to us, brother. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. At the wonderful estate. Welcome to Desire and Decorum. Chapter 6, An Intimate Affair. Who we having an affair with? After arriving at your townhouse in London, you, Miss Boston's both glare at Mr. Marquez, who still clutches your grandmother's letter. Why did you leave us stranded in London? Did your mother intend I never make it here at all? Briar gives Mr. Marquez a courteous smile. He tries to choke out a response. Some kind of misunderstanding. You set me up to get lost in London. They only what your mother told you. I mean, I knew it was your mother's order to abandon me. She's not the one who wishes me harm, not you. I mean, yeah, she is, not you. Miss Marcassa glances at you, then at Briar, who is still standing behind you. My mother wrote that the Dowager Countess had made other arrangements. And you believed her. She's my mother and Countess of Edgewater. It's not my place to disobey her orders. My father entrusted my safety to this house, so what will you tell him? Had my virtue been assaulted while we are lost? My apologies, Miss Parsons, I hadn't considered. Fears that last for generations have started over less. Miss Parsons flounces over the front door and you rush after her. As you reach the front step out Mr. Malcaster's sight, Miss Parsons doubles over giggling. Did you see his face? He's terrified of you. He should be. Did you see him try to worm out taking responsibility? As Malcaster's in a tough position, has the backbone of a salted slug, is much less interesting than you. You take her hands, gently twining your fingers through hers. Tell me, Edmund, Malcaster, the only thing on your mind right now. Edmund who? Edmund what? Edmund where? Edmund why? Before you can say more, Miss Parsons notices a young woman in a fine gown getting into a carriage across the street. She jumps. Oh, for a moment, I thought that was my sister. I must get to her house before she gets worried. I know she has plans lined up for me all week, so I shall try to find some time to visit. She plants a kiss on your cheek and hurries across the square. Oh, bye, Miss Parsons. As you return to your drawing room, the sound of familiar laughter catches your attention. Ha! I can't believe you never bought a meal before. Where I live, we always grew up and cooked everything ourselves. Well, there are many bachelors in London who are wife to cook for them. The stores try to fill that need. Then I hope they are also lucky as to find a wife. She gives him a dimpled smile and Miss Malcaster's face reddens as he glances away. He's only lucky if it's the right wife. Dude, aren't you engaged? He reaches for Briar's and just you clear your throat and they both jump back guiltily. And plus, I share Briar with Mr. Woods. You could ask show Lady to go to room, Miss Dally, on the second floor. Briar lifts her skirt and curtsies with the flashes. Now I see why they said intimate affair. Of course, sir. Miss Malcaster quickly leaves the room as you and Briar walk towards the stairs. Chick, you have some splendid to do. Briar, will you flirt around? I'm not going to encourage it. Briar shoots a glance at Miss Malcaster, retreating back, blushes furiously. And where's the harm in that? You're shameless. You can't actually like the man, can't you? I know you try to be kind to him, Dakota, and he appreciates that. Just hard with the Countess. Twilight is already falling as Briar leads you to your new bedroom. You sit down on a large bed. Do you really care for Miss Malcaster, then? What about Mr. Woods? You know I like him, but it's not as if I have an understanding with either of them. Miss Malcaster has just been kind to me. I feel bad for him. Trapped between you and the Countess. You know he's engaged to Miss Sutton. We're not, he is far above me. It's just a harmless flirtation. She turns her full attention to your luggage. Now let's get you unpacked. Mrs. Sinclair is having an intimate dinner party tomorrow night, and your grandmother told me you must go to the tailor first thing in the morning and find a new dress for it. Hope it's a new free dress. Next morning, you and Miss Sun browsed through the tailor's dresses together. Man, I just love the backgrounds. Oh, the first dinner party of your debut. You must be near fainting. I thought it would be an intimate affair. How many people will be there? Well, my heavens, I don't know. I'm sure Mr. Sinclair would never invite fewer than 20 to a London party. 20? And everyone will be looking at you, of course, to see your debut. Miss Sun pulls down the ivory silk dress she was looking at, her face suddenly falling. I remember my debut. My mom must have told me 100 times not to talk too much, but of course I couldn't help myself. But it didn't matter. That was the year the eldest Holloway sister made debut. None of them even looked at me. Oh, that must be difficult. Well, you're not a great guest. Don't be rude. It was. Mama was so upset with me. My heavens, the things she said. But then when we made a match with Miss Malcast, Mama could hardly believe it. I mean, he's barely Jillian on his father's side, of course, but his mother's a countess. And then when poor Harry passed, and there were talks of Miss Malcast inheriting, we just... Mrs. Sun's stream of words stops abruptly as she looks at you. I mean, he won't be inheriting, so my word, here we are. Shopping for gowns for your debut. Do you see any alike? They are beautiful. Oh, this one will look marvelous on you. She pulls out a silk gown in a rich white color that looks at her happily. Just look at that decolletage. You'll be turning the heads of every man out there. She thrusts the dress to your hands. Try it on. I'll never be beautiful like you, but I know a gorgeous dress when I see one. I mean, this does look gorgeous. Guess I'll just go with the Empire Evening. I think I'll just wear this. Oh, just as what? Nothing here looks good on me. I shall be grateful I'm not the only one coming in an old gown. Well, I wouldn't care to look like you. Why, I'll bet even wearing homespun, you were always the prettiest man in the village. Yeah. Done that at Mrs. Sinclair's townhouse. Oh my. Mr. Malcastle, Miss Sutton, Lady Cutter, please be welcome. I always figured what a grand home you have, Mrs. Sinclair. It's a shame you don't entertain more often. Your house is a bit self-absorbed. Splendid. It was built long ago and while my helper, so I could take a little credit for it. Is it so hard, though, for you to accept a compliment? It is all proper sentiment. Proud spot, prefer a compliment on my achievements, not what I own. Or else I will take any compliment so long as it's sincerely meant. Mr. Sinclair host opened the door as she followed Mr. Malcastle and Miss Sutton inside. Why, they're playing Braidwood Manor song, though. I am pleased to have you here, Lady Dakota. I dare say the party will be more entertaining with your presence. A young woman suddenly protested Mr. Sinclair's arm. Who are you? Mrs. Sinclair, I can't imagine where you had despair to. You must abandon me like that. The woman's eyes flicker over you, but she keeps her attention to Mrs. Sinclair. It was hardly outside for a moment. What could you have imagined would happen? But I was expecting a tight evening in your company. Every moment short that is a tragedy. Sinclair gently removes his arm from her grasp. Miss Holloway, may I present Lady Dakota Edgewater. Lady Dakota, Miss Felicia... Is it Felicity Holloway? A pleasure to meet you, Miss Holloway. Hi, yes, the Earl's natural daughter. Why do you have to say it like that? Your father's announcement quite shocked everyone, Lady Dakota. Is that not right, Mrs. Sinclair? Mr. Sinclair doesn't answer you, his eyes still on you. My father wasn't trying to shock anyone, Miss Holloway. When my brother stepped, it was imperative that Edgewater have an heir. Well, it was quite brave of him to trust your mother's claim. A child born 20 years ago, that father could be almost anyone. My father recognized me immediately, like my mother is the Earl. I mean, he does love Mom, and she loved her. My mother kept faith with him my whole life. What a charming story. A pity he married someone else. Do you not think, Mrs. Sinclair? He's all like, bitch, I don't care about you. Mr. Sinclair finally tears his eyes away from you. He shakes his head, clearly having not heard a word. And my apologies, I was staring at me. It's like the poet says, Nana. The clouds that gather around the setting sun do take a sober coloring from my eye. I don't know what that means. The half-cat watch man's mortality. Another race have been in other poems. What? How did that one end again? What? It ends and I want to die, and thus saith I. How much that to buy? I don't know. Miss Holloway rolls her eyes. Thanks to the human heart by which we live, thanks to its tenderness, its joys and fears. That's what I meant, yeah, totally. To me, the meanest flower the blows could give thoughts that do often lie too deep for tears. That's exactly the way. I cannot believe Lady Dakota does not know even the most basic Wordsworth, can you? I know nothing. Cooling the bare thoughts of another man shows nothing about one's intellect, Miss Holloway. Ooh! She gasps at it and then gives a tight nod. Just if you excuse me, I see someone over there. You and Mrs. Sinclair are left standing alone, just shy of the main group of dinner guests. You follow him as she walks toward the kitchens. Mrs. Sinclair, you were quite the romantic hero to come to my defense. I mean, I would have been stuck with her. But I'm not calling him a romantic hero. Believe me, Lady Dakota, I had not the least thought of helping you. And why stand up for me? Perhaps it was Mr. Wordsworth I was defending. Why should Miss Holloway trade on his accomplishments? Because she has none of her own. Mr. Clare reaches down, his arm brushing past her skirts as he pulls a book from the shelf. First, I find Wordsworth a tad overwrought, but for the classics. Shakespeare? He opens the large book to an earmarked section. You look at the heading. Shakespeare! Oh, I love Shakespeare. Should you wish to expand your knowledge and save yourself any need for rescue from the likes of Miss Holloway? He offers you the book. As you take it from him, your fingers brush. Just for an instant, you open to a random page. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Shakespeare. He's literally the only one that I could get behind. Rough winds do shake the darling buds in May, and summer's leaves have all too short a date. Add a book of poetry to your palette to unlock special things and triumph against rival heirs to become an Augustus letter. Nah, probably wouldn't really be worth it. Even though I love Shakespeare. And I love, what was his name? Edgar Allan Poe. I'll not compete against Miss Holloway our own game. No, I imagine you only like games where we set the rules. You know me so well. But yeah, I love both of those peeps. A bell rings suddenly, calling the guests into dinner. People begin to line up, 2 by 2, 1 man for each woman. Mrs. Sinclair is at the front. Excuse me, I should be next to Mrs. Sinclair. As a legitimate daughter of a Viscount, I'm the ranking lady here tonight. Excuse you? I believe I outrank you. I am the daughter of an Earl. The bastard daughter. The acknowledged daughter and heir to the Earl. I believe that makes me the ranking lady. You sweep ahead of Miss Holloway. Take your place next to Mrs. Sinclair at the front of the line. Take that. Suddenly, the door swings open at the back of the room and everyone swivels around to see. Oh good, someone of quality at last. Oh my goodness, no! She should just be with him then. Be with the Duke. My apologies for the late arrival, but I only just heard about the party. Duke Richards. Glance at Mrs. Sinclair, whose face has gone rigid with fury. I do not remember issuing an invitation, Your Grace. And it's fortunate for me that you will never be so improper to ask your social betters to leave once they come to call. You are, of course, the export party. Duke Richard strides comfortably past Mrs. Sinclair, elbowing him aside to offer you his arm. Lady Dakota, so good to see you again. I had hoped to find you here. Your Grace. The Duke takes your hand and plants a lingering kiss, first on your knuckles, then the inside of your wrist. He smiles to the rest of the room. New Lady Edgewater and I are already intimate acquaintances. Duke Richards. Indeed, I should like us to be friends. I will hardly call us into. I mean, it's true. Oh, come now. No one believes I mean it that way. You spoke briefly at my father's party, that's all. I suppose meeting me was hardly your most memorable part of the night. Dinner is served. And Mr. Carr's curt signaled the server still opened the doors to the dining hall. The smell of roasted meat drifts up. Can't wait to eat dinner tonight. Duke Richards tucks your hand into his arm. Let's see what delicacies Miss Sinclair has managed to serve up today. Hey, here comes Royal Romance music. You walk into the room where a long table is set with porcelain silver. Small calligraph place cards sit on each plate. Enjoy me later, Dakota. Thanks, Sinclair. Walks to the head of the table, leaving you and Duke Richards look at the place cards. Ooh, Mr. Chambers, who are you? Your name, Miss Lady Dakota. I believe you are between me and Miss Malcaster, Mr. Bathal. Okay, Mr. Bartholomew Chambers at your service. Nice to meet you, Bartholomew. He bows with the sweep of his arm. A pleasure. I'm overwhelmed with the honor of meeting this year's most eligible young lady during her first appearance in society. Understand it's exciting time. Well, so far it's been a lot for an hour to stand in line. Frankly, I expected better. Indeed, usually the lineup goes a little more quicker than that, but no one quite knows where to put you. Duke Richards' shoulders past Mr. Chambers. Why, Sinclair, I'm hurt. I don't see a place set for me. Mr. Clare's brows knit, but his voice remains level. That's a drawback to coming uninvited, Your Grace. We hardly have time to accommodate you. Unfortunately, that leaves us with an uneven number of men and women, quite unacceptable. Duke's gaze lands on Mr. Chambers. Perhaps Mr. Chambers could give me a seat. No! No, don't do it! I'm sure he wouldn't mind moving to sit between two men. No! Mr. Chambers looks at the table, color rising in his cheeks. Duke Richards, you want... No, F you. The number of men and women don't matter. No, I want to get to know him. We could be besties. I'm honored, my lady. He gives Duke a little bow. But if his grace requires my seat, he need only ask. I will set the other... No! Good, get out of here. Dang, Duke! You're wasted on the ladies. This is hardly an appropriate way to address my guests. It's quite alright, sir. I don't mind moving. No, Mr. Chambers! I'm sorry. Mr. Chambers shakes his head with the glance of the Duke to kiss your hand and leaves. Anything else you would like to rearrange, Your Grace? Oh, I shall be certain to let you know if I think of something. At the other end of the table, a server scrambled to lay an extra place setting for Mr. Chambers next to a bearded man. I pardon for the intrusion. The man answers with accent in English. Ooh, who is this cutie? Everybody's cute. There's no trouble at all, my lord. The man's eyes meet and Mr. Chambers sits pulling his chair close. He turned back to the Duke. Do I see something going on between... You have gone to great trouble to sit beside me, Your Grace. I wish you did it. You know that you are as clever as you are beautiful. Shut up. You have hardly been subtle. Subtlety is for those without the courage to be bold. I will assist their soup as the servers quietly ready the main course. Your eyes drift to the other end of the table, where Miss Holloway hangs to Mrs. Sinclair. So clever, Mrs. Sinclair. I could never think of half of what you... The Duke lays his hand on yours, claiming your attention. So, I can't imagine your father have had much chance to show you the work as an Edgewater. Not much as I was like, Your Grace. Mr. Malcaster speaks so eagerly on your other side. I've worked with the Earl on that estate quite a bit. The Duke continues right over him. And how are you enjoying London, Lady Golda? Dude, don't be rude to my brother. I'm the only one that can be rude to him. It has been exciting. I know I haven't seen a quarter of what the city has to offer yet, but still amazing. I never thought I'd be here. I'm most hopeful to see an opera. My mother was an opera singer when she and my father met. He saw one of her performances and fell in love. Falling in love! The Duke's eyebrows shoot up and he politely covers his mouth with his napkin. I've not heard that. Something caught my throat. I've not heard that. We all assume your mother was well not a singer. What, a stripper? Do you have a problem with opera singers? Of course not. I've seen many lovely performances, so I understand how they might stir a man. With her voice. I saw the marriage of Figaro at Covent Garden last year. I thought it was overrated. Tell me more about what you wish to see at the opera. My poor brother. Yeah, we should let my brother speak. Miss Marquez, what was it that let you call about the marriage of Figaro? Oh, well, that is, I hear it's better than the original German. Indeed, I've seen it perform at Freihaus Theater, off with what did it? Vienna. Absolutely stunning. I'm butchering everything. Yes, well, I've never been to Vienna. How you say Vienna? The service piled the table with platter after platter of steaming food. Red mullet with cardinal sauce. Marrow, pate, sweetbreads au jus. There's so much food. Across the table, old man hears your explanation turns to you confusion. Uh-oh. Who are you calling the fool? Wait, what? I said fool, bruh. Did you not hear me? Miss Sun seated beside him grabs his arm with a gill. She speaks loudly to his ear trumpet. She said food, not fool, my lord. Eh? Food, not fool. Oh ho, am I there? Lily never offer man food, my beauty. Miss Sun simplistic catches your offer across the table. Lady Cole, let me introduce you. This is the Viscount Wesley. My Lord Viscount, Lady Cole Edgeworth is making her debut. The Viscount peers at you, the Rexel Brosma, sitting a puff of foul breath. Ill. Nothing better than the girl her first debut. I met my last two wives at the lead debut. Just be nice, just be nice. I'm sure it's every young girl's dream to meet a Viscount like you. You'll be happy to hear that I have the opening for wife number 5. Okay, no. Are you drunk, my dude? Wonderful. Honestly, I would rather take the Duke. Duke Richards leans closer to speak to you so the Viscount can't hear. Shameless, is it? Who you? You have a lot of nerve. You're the shameless one. Does he really need a fifth wife? Seems rather poor luck for the lady. Duke Richards laughs loudly enough to draw a curious look from the Viscount. It does seem rather optimistic to be chasing a girl of his age. What would he do with one if he caught her? I don't even want to think about it. You laugh audibly, trying to move your chair back a little to make some space. A second later, Miss Sinclair walks over to you and the Duke. Is there to your satisfaction, my lady, your grace? What are you doing over here, Sinclair? Don't you have people in the same? Simply doing my duty as host, your grace. Have you tried the pulver eggs? They're my cook's specialty. I'm really more interested in the sweetmeats. I'm well aware of your taste. And you have always provided choices dishes. So, about the problem, man, what are they up to this season? The tissue breaks slightly as both men look at you in surprise. Wait, what? London? I don't know. Yeah. What's the most interesting place to see in London? I think a lady was trying to change the subject. We were making you uncomfortable, my dear. Don't you call me. Of course we were, but she's too polite to say. And if you were gentlemen, you would stick with the subject change when a lady goes to trouble making one. Sinclair gives you a little nod. So shut up. Indeed. Everybody's so exhausted. I wish I would have stuck with Chambers. Like, why couldn't he stick with me? Later after dinner. You stand in the doorway of the living room. Duke Richards still at your side. I never eaten so much in my life. Do people eat like this here every night? Before the Duke can answer, Miss Holloway comes over, delicately hiding her face behind her fan. Your Grace, no one was expecting you to see tonight. The season has already started. I found myself dreadfully short of entertainment. Surely a man like you never need lack for company. As Miss Holloway flutters her fan at the Duke again, you move away, finding Mr. Yes, he's still with the man he ended up seated beside. Ooh. I ship. Lady Kerr, I was sorry to miss a chance to get to know you. I'm not too sorry. Oh my god. Ship. Miss Chambers signs her with the raised finger and a smile. Ship. I'm glad you found a way to enjoy yourself. My new friend, Mr. Yusuf Kunavi. And this is Lady Goda. Hello. A pleasure, more sherry, my lord. Excuse me. As the two men leave, you turn to see Miss Malcastle standing alone, a somewhat forlorn looking behind you. When Harry was here, I never had to worry about who to talk to at dinner like this. He was always the center of any conversation. Her brother sounds like he was quite the charmer. He always knew exactly what to say. Mr. Malcastle, I don't believe you ever cared for her. I'm sorry, it must be hard. The last dinner party I attended in London, we were together. What was he like? Harry was afraid to walk up to the Prince Regent and introduce himself. It was so much easier to go along with him then. Now I get tongue-tied and stammer like a fool for Duke Richards. I don't think Duke Richards is worth impressing. Harry used to call him the king of braggarts. You laugh and Miss Malcastle looks wistful. I'll try my best to honor Harry by stepping into his royal Edgewater, but it will never be more than a reminder of how much I fall short. A slight tipsy Miss Sun stumbles up to you, Miss Malcaster. Miss Malcaster, looking all over for you. Miss Malcaster gives a slightly pained sigh. Excuse me. As I leave, you notice Mrs. Sinclair watching you from across the room. Dang, you just love watching me. You love looking at me. Lady Dakota, surprised to see you alone again. One began to wonder whether Duke Richards had staked a permanent claim. Mr. Clare, would you rather have me for yourself? No, we are not trying to flirt. You know him well enough to believe he's not hateful then. After 2 nights in this company, you are certain you have his full measure. He really did do something, didn't he? He insinuated himself into my private party, pushed me out of the way of my own home, and monopolized the attention of my guests. Is that not enough? I'm sorry? No, not literally. Something happened between you two. Well, before tonight. Mrs. Clare took a deep breath. I will simply give you a warning. Duke Richards is not a suitable husband for you. Wherever his time... Don't believe me. I do not want him as a husband. Why do you care? What does it matter to you who I marry? Mr. Clare hesitates a moment too long. Before he can answer, Miss Sun's nasal voice carries loudly from across the room. Of course Mr. Clare used to be married, don't you know? This was her house. Wait, what? You and Mrs. Clare both whipped around to see Miss Sun talking to Miss Holloway at the pianoforte. Mrs. Clare? Oh my, yes, it was a talk of the town when she died in childbirth. She was such a pretty young thing. Mr. Clare goes white, his lips pressed in a thin line. Excuse me, I just remember an urgent errand. Is that true? Did your wife? My wife was dead to me long before dang. But why? Continue without me. I'm hardly need to hear anyway. Without another word, Mr. Clare turns on his seat and walks out the front door. Mr. Chambers comes out behind you, concerned. What happened? I don't know. Miss Sun mentioned his wife and then... He was overcome with grief. No, he seemed angry. Still, especially if he weren't alone at a time like this. Perhaps you should go after him and make sure he's alright. Why can't you do it? If you follow Mr. Sinclair now, you'll get to spend time alone with him, learn about his past, and improve your relationship. I don't care. F you. I think he needs some time alone. The room is silent. Guests shift uncomfortably. Mr. Clare said to continue way home. Shall we have some music? Lady Dakota, will you grace us with a song? No. Perhaps I could join Miss Sutton. Isn't she still drunk? You take your place next to Miss Sutton at the pianoforte. I mean, I don't have any music to jam to, but I guess I need to come up with my own music. They'll always leave you as mine left me to blow the candles out. Do. I tried. As the clock strikes midnight, exhausted, hoarse, forsaken, you stumble towards the door. Duke Richards opens it for you. I hope to see much more of you now that the season's truly underway. Of course. You could barely speak for yawning. The Duke smiles. Good night, Lady Dakota. Good night, ass. Musically gives the curtain eyes to reach the doorway. Thank you for coming. Good night, sir. You start out the door to your carriage. Well, that was a party. Next morning, you are still sleeping while Briar opens the door to your room. Miss Parsons closes behind her. I'm so sorry to disturb you so early. Lady Dakota, are you up? Miss Parsons, what time is it? We're both just receiving an invitation for the Duke of Carleton. We're to attend Opera St. James with him in his private box. You roll the sleep from your eyes. Opera St. James, where have I heard that before? That's where my mother used to sleep. Dude, the Duke, I'ma throw hands. Next time, Desire Decorum. Shop for a dress that dials out the opera and learn about your mother's life as a star. When your trip to the Opera St. James hit a high note and end up falling flat. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this chapter was okay. I mean, we got to meet some new people. And and we had to like be caught in the middle between the Duke and Mr. Sinclair as always. So but I like Mr. Chambers. Like I wanna be besties with him. Like this seems so cool. So anyways, I'll see you guys next week for the next chapter of Desire Decorum. So see you then. Bye bye.